Friday here on the couch on the Morning Brew. Welcome back, Amber Hendren, Larry Aarons. All right, let's, gosh, is it startup weekend again already?
Yes.
Seems like we just did this, but that's okay.
It's great, actually. I think it's part of a movement of more startup activity here in Albuquerque and really throughout the state.
Let me introduce well, there he is, Eric Renz-Whitmore. You see his name there. And our friend Lisa Beta from App City Life. Good to see you, Lisa.
Yes, good to see you.
Thank
too.
you.
Very
Thank
good.
you. All right, Startup Weekend is what?
Well, Startup Weekend it's a 54-hour event that we put together that brings together people with ideas and other folks that are interested in perhaps starting a new venture to bring those people together to vet those ideas and launch a viable startup.
It's like being in a pressure cooker. It's paying a very little small amount of a ticket to find out in just one weekend how you survive and like the startup life. We've actually hired several employees that have come out of a startup weekend because we can see the talent, we can see that they actually like and thrive and have energy on this high pressure, high fast paced life that's part of a startup. So it's a wonderful experience for someone who's, maybe they're not a developer, maybe they're not a graphic artist, maybe they're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe they're a student, or maybe they're someone who's been in sales. It's a wonderful experience for any background if you're curious about what it's like to be an entrepreneur or work for one.
And what kind of tools do we take away from the weekend?
I think the tools are learning how to collaborate with other people, how to be part of a team, how to problem solve quickly on your feet, how to create something from nothing in a very short amount of time with limited tools.
You know, and one other aspect that I think a lot of folks don't necessarily think about, unfortunately, is that they're not thinking about the customer. Does somebody really want to buy or use the product you're selling? And too often people they're trying to create something perfect in a garage or, by themselves or with a couple of folks. And until you're actually working and talking with customers and getting some money.
Like, are you sure customers are going to want to change their taste buds from sweet to sour?
Right.
Are you sure there's a market for that?
Right, she just did that today.
I just did this really crazy experiment. Anyway, we were trying to figure out what the market segment would be for changing your taste buds. But what are some of the big businesses that you're seeing, or some of the trends in startups that you're seeing?
Oh boy. Startups, it's just such a wide field, and I think a lot of folks think of it as this is only a tech thing. And that's a real big mistake, especially in New Mexico where there's so many successful businesses that are not specifically tech. Now, tech's probably part of everything, and I'd say that's one thing that is a trend, is that you really do need to have some aspect of it, whether it's the social media piece or some of the behind the scenes stuff that's tech. But I don't know, other themes that you see?
Some of the more interesting things that we've seen come out of some of the startup weekends that were here last year was a seed sharing cooperative. There was some very high tech, and some of those have grown and done very, very well, that are already getting some funding, getting some growth, getting some international attention. But everything from being able to take an appointment at the last minute from a beauty parlor, or we actually hired the girl who was the winner of that one.
Oh, cool.
And so, we've seen a lot of different types of industries, not just tech. And so even if your idea has to do with what you're doing in your own backyard, it's a great place to come and pitch it.
And I was facilitator for an event that happened up in Farmington, and two of the winners, one was a brew pub, and another was a Native American skateboard company.
Oh, wow.
Both of whom, found a home at the incubator up there, and I know the brew pub's launched, and I think the other company's still going.
So would you guys take us verbally through a weekend? What happens at the startup weekend? If you're signing up and doing this, what goes on?
Well, you walk in and there's pizza.
Good.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Yes, there's
We'll
pizza.
be
I'm
there.
there. That's all she had to thank you, Lisa.
That starts pretty well.
You gather, everybody starts to chit chat, and they're getting to know the other people that are there. There's usually 2 or 3 speakers that talk to you about their own experiences as entrepreneurs or as investors. And that only takes like 15 minutes. It's very fast, very quick, and immediately after that, the pitches start. and the pitches are a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's one of the most fun times because a lot of people will come. Some people have ideas, and other people are in the room saying, hey, my idea is better than this. I wasn't planning on pitching, but another 20 or so folks will get up and they'll pitch their ideas, and some of those are really, really great. But immediately after that, it just flows very quickly. People will vote on ideas, and then we start forming teams. So people will say, you know, I responded to what he said, or I really liked, you know, her idea, and they start talking about getting a team formed. It sounds really crazy, but in the space of about 15, 20 minutes, the teams are formed, and they're working on figuring out what their minimum viable product is.
And good collaboration means you have a better shot of making it.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's great.
AlbuquerqueStartupWeekend.org.
And they
Find
have
out
pizza.
more. Bring your idea to Startup Weekend. There's a lot of success stories out of this. Eric, thank you. Lisa, good to see you again.
Very nice to meet you both.
Back with the final cup after this.